Hello friend, how are you? Welcome to Tirpan Study Center. Today we are doing most important chapter of history. What is the topic today? Administrative structure under the Mughals. There is a most important here. Administrative structure under the Mughals Empire. The Mughal is resistant to the many features of the administrative system of the Sultanate and Sher and there's under the Shah is the administrative unit of Pragan, a group of villages. Sarkar, a group of Pragans and group of Sarkars, some that what like a subs or province, were placed under the specific office. The Mughals is a formalized or new territorial units called Suba. Suba is the most important here. An institution of the Jagir and the Mansab system were also introduced by their Mughals. Thus, the change and communities is a both market and Mughal administrative structure, which is both about their a high degree of centralization in the system. The next era center administration. There is the according to the Mughal Empire, the center administration. The empire was the supreme head of the administration and control all the military's judicially power. All the officer of Mughals, it is the administration of when there is a power and position of the empire. The emperor has the authorities of appoint, is a promote and remove the officially at the pleasure. There was no pleasure institutional and otherwise on the empire, and there is smooth of functioning of the empire of few departments were created. There is a most important here, and the next year, Wakils and Wazir. The institution of the Vizirat is assigned, both were used to the interchangeable. Was present in a some form during to the Delhi Sultanate also. The position of the Wazir had lost his preeminent position during the period of Afghan rulers in the Delhi Sultanate. The position of the Wazir was reviewed under to the Mughals. The Babar and the Humayus is the Wazir enjoyed to the great power. The period of there is the during the is a Bahram Khan. Bahram Khan is the 1556 to 60 was a regent of the Akbar. Say the rise of the Walik's Wazir with the united to the power. Akbar, his the determinations of the curb, the power of Wazir later on the took away the financial power from him. And this was a big result to the Wazir as a power. That is the most important. And the next year, Diwan-e-Kul. Diwan-e-Kul was the chief Diwan. He was responsible for the revenue and finance. Akbar has a strengthness of the office of a Diwan by interested there is a revenue power to be a Diwan. The Diwan used to impact all the transactions and payment in all department and superviews of the provisional of Diwan. The entry of the revenue is collection and expenditure of their empire was under his charge. The Diwan were to be report about the state finance to be empire on the daily basis. The next head is a Mir Bakshi. Mir Bakshi is the most important here, and Mir Bakshi is looked after all the matter is pertaining to be a military administration. The order of the appointment of the Mansabdar and there is a salary is a paper where is the endorsed and the passes by him. He keep a strict watch over to proper maintenance of the centenary to the size of our army is a contingent and the war is equipped by their Mansabdars. The new entrance and the seeking service were to the presenting to the empire by the Mir Bakshis. There is the most important. And the next year, the Sadar as-Sudair. There is the most important position here. The Sadar as-Sudair was the head of the ecclesiastics department. His chief duty was to protect the law of the Shariat. There is the most important his work. The office of the Sadar is used to distribute the allowance and the stipend to be eligible person and religious institution. It's made his the office very creative and during the first 25 years of Akbar has resigned. The promulgation of the Mahazar in the 1580 unrestricted his the authorities. According to the Mahazar, Akbar as a view was the prevalence in the case of the confessing's view among religious scholars. This officer also is regulate the matter of the revenue of free grant give to the religious and charitable is a purpose. Later service is a restrictions were to the place on the authorities of the Sadr for awarded to the revenue free grant also. The Mutasib is a censor of public moral. There is the most important is here. Mutasib is a censor of public morals where to the appointment to the ensure the generally observance of the rules of morality. He also used to examine to the weight and measuring and the enforce fair of price etc. The next is the Mughal court. There is the Mir Saman. The Mir Saman was the officer in charge of the royal Karakan. Karakhana was responsible for all kind of purchase and there are stores for the royal household. He was also is a supervised to the manufacturing of different articles for the use of royal household. There is the most important here, a position of Mir Saman. There is the most important. The next topic is the most important here, our provisional administration according to the Mughal Empire. There is the most important here, our provisional administration. The Mughal Empire was divided into the 12 provinces of the Subas by the Akbar. And this were Allahabad, Agra, Abad, Ajmer, Ahmedabad, Bihar, Bengal, Delhi, Kabul, Lahore, Malwa and Multan. Later on, the Ahmednagar and Berar of the is a Khandesh were to added. There is a three here. Suba is added. Ahmednagar, Berara, and the Khandesh. With the expansion of the Mughal Empire, number of provinces increased to 20. The each Suba was the place under a Subedar, or provisionally his governor, who was directly appointed by the empire. And the Subedar was the head of the province and they are responsible for the maintenance of general law and order. He was to encourage the agriculture, trade and commerce and they take a step to the enhance the revenue of the state. He was also to the suppress to the rebellions and provided to the army for expedition. The head of the revenue is a department in the Suba was the Diwan. He was appointed by the empire and was the independent officer. He was to the superiors to the revenue is collection in the Suba and maintenance account of all the expenditure. He was also as expected to the increasing the area under cultivation. In many cases, advantage loan is a taku abis were to given to the peasant to throw his office. The Bakshi in the province of performed the same function as the performed by the Mir Bakshi at the center. He was appointed by the imperial court at the recommendation of the Mir Bakshi. He was responsible for the checking and inspecting there is a horse and soldier is maintained by the Mansabdari in the Suba. He issued the pay bills of the both the Mansabdari and the soldier. Often his office was combined with the Vakkunadar in there is a capacity his duty was to inform to the center about the happening in the province. The representative of the center Sadr used Sudhir at the provisional level was the is called Sadr. He was responsible for the welfare of those who were engaged in the religious activity and the learning. He also looked after the judiciary department and that capacity of supervised at the work of the Qazis. There is some other officer who is appointed at the provisional level. Is the Droga is a dog as responsible for the maintaining the communication channel, and he used to pass on the letter to the court through the postal runners is a wards and Bakana which both there is the acquires where the appointment to the provide to the report directly to the empire. There is the most important system here. The one next topic is the most important here, a local administration of the Mughal Empire. There is the most important topic here. The Brahmins and the Subas were divided into the Sarkars. The Sarkar were divided into the Paragan. There is the most important here. Suba were divided into the Sarkar divided into the Paragan. Their village was the smallest unit of administration. That is the most important. At the level of Sarkar, were two important functionary. The Fizadar and there is a Amal Zugzar. There is a Fizadar and appointed by the imperial's order. And sometime within a Sarkar, a number of Fizadar existed. At times, there is a judication spread over to the two Sarkars, even if this is a belong to the two different Subas. Fizadaris was the administrative division, whereas to the Sarkars was a territorial and revenue division. The primary duty of the Fauzdar was to a safeguard to the life and property of the residential of areas under adjudication. And this was to take care of the law and order problem in this area and assist in the timely collection of the revenue whenever force and was required. That is the most important here. The Mansabdar as the male was their revenue collector. His duty was to assess and supervise their revenue collection. He was expected to increase the land under cultivation and induce the peasant to the pay of revenue of the billings. He used to maintain all the account and send the daily receipt as the expenditure report of the provisional divan. At the level of Pragan, the Sukdakar was their executive officer. There is the most important executive officer and assists their Amil in the task of the revenue collection. The Amil is look after the revenue collection at their Paragan level. The Komanugos keep all their record of the land in the Paragan. The Kotawalas were appointed mainly in the towns by the imperial government and were in charge of the law and order. He was the maintenance of register for the keeping record of the people coming and going out of the town. The Muqaddam was the village head and man and the Patwari looked after the village revenue record, and the service of the Jamindar were utilized of the maintenance of the law order in their areas as well as in their collection of the revenue. The forts where is a place under to the officially called to the Quidar. He is in charge of the general administration of the fort and the area of sign in the Jagir to him.